Yo, this is your wisest astrologer, and this week at 5:57 p.m. Eastern Time in the US on Wednesday evening, and at 6:02 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday evening, we are going to get a double kick of something something, if you know what I'm talking about. And if you do not know, you'll eventually know. This week, the sun goes into Sagittarius, followed by a new moon in Sagittarius, and then Jupiter goes direct in Pisces. So I'm going to get up on that Sagittarius soapbox and declare to the world that we have to accept that there's still more to learn, and accept that we don't know everything. That there's still more to learn. Wait a second. This is the Wisest Astrology channel. And me, your self-anointed, self-proclaimed wisest, is saying that there's more to learn in life? And that I don't know everything? Well, I'm just being honest with myself. And with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus now in Sagittarius, and Jupiter, the ruling planet of Sagittarius, going direct in the sign of Pisces, we have to be honest with ourselves. And when we are honest with ourselves, we will find new ways to communicate love to others, and new ways to communicate love to ourselves. This week we will be able to accept that we are sensitive souls who do not know everything, and that we have been put here on earth to find out what love is all about, to find what true, genuine beauty is all about, to go on long-winded tangents about love, to find new ways to communicate with each other, new and expansive ways, and that we have the hope and optimism and courage in our souls to go on this journey. This journey right now is being driven by the other big development this week. Jupiter in Pisces is going to go direct on Wednesday at 6:02 p.m. Eastern Time in the US, 5 minutes after the new moon. Jupiter going direct in Pisces is about accepting our sensitivity to knowledge, accepting our sensitivity to new things, and accepting that we do have to be genuinely sensitive first to truly understand the big picture. Sagittarius is about truth and the genuine article, the real deal. But we won't allow ourselves to find the genuine article if we can't accept that we have to look for it in Piscean places that seem abandoned by the rest of the world. Now, some of you might be watching this asking, well, can you be more specific there, wise ass? Well, quite honestly, no, because nothing this week needs to be specific. This is not the week for specificity. This is about a vibe, a sensitive vibe, an intuitive vibe, an inspired vibe, a happy direction, and throwing around positive platitudes ad nauseum in a touchy-feely way, like a New Age guru running for public office. But I will momentarily contradict myself and be specific about this. I mentioned last week that it is important to lift up your feet as you stride ahead. This is now true both literally and metaphorically. Our feet, our toes will glide up off of the ground, spring up from the earth, absorbing the sensitivity that gathers beneath them as we step up to our pulpit, our Sagittarius soapbox, sensitive to the wisdom that we are about to share with everyone as we let them know what we are all about, what life is all about, what love is all about. So glide. Glide, baby, glide. Glide on the tears of the world as you shine a light on them. Shine a light on them until those tears are translucent and you can see clearly through them for the better, brighter journey ahead. We have to allow ourselves to laugh at our journey once in a while in order to move forward. We realize we are on our current journey because at some point in our evolution, we accepted this journey. Again, this Jupiter in Pisces is about acceptance. Acceptance of the Sagittarius sun that will show us the way forward. So the combination of the Pisces Jupiter and Sagittarius sun has us kicking up our feet so high that our toes can touch the guiding stars in the sky. And now we are flooded with understanding about our trajectory going forward. It's such a sensitive experience. Sensitivity leads to honesty. And quite honestly, I'm having a difficult time trying not to cry in my own video. It was my birthday yesterday, and the current 28-degree Jupiter in Pisces is telling my natal sun, my natal 29-degree Scorpio sun, to stop trying to be in control of all that water and let it all out. But my sun, my ego says, no way, but it will have to eventually pour it out into something. The Greek philosopher Socrates said that the only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. But I've got good news for you. Both you and I know more than Socrates. Because astrology allows us to truly know some things, even if it doesn't allow us to know everything. So accept that you know more than Socrates and seek to find out the rest. Oh, and another thing, details might not be that important with Mercury in Sagittarius. So if you pronounce the name of Socrates, Socrates, as they did in the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, that is fine right now, even if that's incorrect, because people would generally know who you're talking about. And that's what matters with Mercury in Sagittarius, that people generally understand you. And Socrates didn't know how to take a selfie with his phone, so that's something else he didn't know. It's little things like this with Mars still in Gemini that remind us right now that even though we are philosophers who are seeking in our hearts and in our minds, that we have to stop and do the little things that keep us looking like suave mofos, lest people think we are out-of-touch dorks with no pulse on the current world. So with Mercury in Sagittarius ruling that Mars in the opposing sign of Gemini, stick your philosophical messages somewhere trendy. Wear them on your sleeve, like your actual sleeve. Even if you are not into tattoos, it doesn't have to be that painfully literal. Maybe it's learning how to have a way with words. We can connect with people now by knowing how to touch them in a way that ignites them. When Mars finally goes direct in March, knowing how to do this will come in handy. So yes, we have to accept first and preach later. Once we accept, then we can find out the truth. We don't want to be too gullible, but if we are, it's okay, because it's a learning experience, and it's a beautiful one if we are able to allow it to be beautiful. So the holiday of Thanksgiving is coming up in the United States, and I want to take the time to thank everyone who has viewed and commented on my videos. All of you have been great and fantastic commenters, filled with wonderful superlatives like a holiday feast. And I've tried to respond to your comments by preaching idealistic wise-ass advice. And with Jupiter and Pisces, I even tried to practice what I preach by accepting all commenters and responding to commenters that no one in their right mind would usually take the time to respond to, let alone take the time to give genuine advice. Meaning last week, I even responded to a YouTube commenter named sexfind.xyz. Sure, I thought that sexfind.xyz was an unusual name, especially if that was one's given name. But with Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, I was trying to give the image of being accepting to everything and everybody. And with the current Mars in Gemini, I thought that maybe sexfind.xyz was some trendy Mars in Gemini, ambiguous, androgynous, flexible, versatile name. So I was trying to be accepting of that and champion the freedom to express and find your name and identity in whatever alphabetical order or no alphabetical order you want. But as it turns out, sexfind.xyz is not a real person, just some spam dating site, at best. So that is a lesson relating to Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces and all these planets in Sagittarius. Sometimes we aim too high, we try to be too open, too expansive, and sometimes we are let down. But we have to keep on looking and stay positive while we do, even when people are mean and deceitful. We don't want to accept people's negative energy and be deluded into thinking that that is our own energy and end up moving forward with that. That is not the tone we want to accept and move forward with. We have to accept that people are who they are, and we have to be the better person going forward, our true selves going forward. That's why we have the current Mars in Gemini to keep us in the loop about things like this, notifying us at the right time so we can maneuver out of trouble on our journey. With Uranus and Taurus now being ruled by Venus in Sagittarius, we have to find things that roll off the tongue nicely, and be a bit audacious and irreverent when doing so, because those adjectives are the love guides in the sky right now. We can be prophetic in love right now, as we see it on the horizon and try to accept the wave that's going to take us forward into the future. Even if everyone in the future is not named sexfind.xyz, or Seinfeld ZZ Top, or Sci-Fi Astrology 69. We are looking for new ways to chew on things. Maybe it's marathon makeout sessions, or finding some absurd way to pontificate peacefully without ruffling any feathers. Venus in Sagittarius and Uranus in Taurus is trying to find bliss in strange ways, especially with the tongue, taste buds, jaw, and throat. It's also about moving the hips forward and finding sudden stability as you do. Maybe that stability is with a partner. Maybe it's finding stability in your own body. Maybe it's finding stability while sleeping or in retreat. It depends on what house the current Uranus and Taurus falls in your natal chart. But regardless, move forward and be steady. Move your hips forward and keep your neck steady. The Sun entered Sagittarius at 3:20 a.m. Eastern Time in the U.S. Tuesday morning, and the Moon enters Sagittarius at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday afternoon, with the new moon occurring a couple of hours later at 5:57 p.m. And then Jupiter in Pisces goes direct at 6:02 p.m., 5 bloody minutes later. This is just bloody amazing. I'm not even British. I'm American, and I'm saying this is bloody amazing. Plus, Jupiter is ruling this new moon, so the timing of this is bloody amazing. So this basically means what I've been saying in the whole video. Sensitivity and acceptance are guiding opinions right now, and it's understanding and observing all forms, especially all forms of physical activity late Thursday night and early Friday morning, as the moon opposes Mars in Gemini and squares Neptune and Pisces at that time. But really, lift your feet up. Kick a football, an American football, a British football, a South Asian football, a Caribbean football, any football. Kick it high and far, and as you observe it sailing high and far, make a wish. The moon will go into Capricorn at 4:19 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, so that will be a bit of a come down. But it will be good because it will allow us to focus this weekend on organizing things and building things, now that we have an idea of where we want to go. Then the moon goes into Aquarius at 5:07 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Saturn is also there in Aquarius, its home sign, and that is direct too, so a heavy emphasis on organizing as we head into next week. Those are the times of the transits, but the details and times don't have to be perfect with Mercury in Sagittarius. Just use your intuition and you'll know. Or just listen to the Beatles, like me, because the Beatles know that tomorrow never knows. It's up to you to use the wisdom of the stars to inform tomorrow. So peace, love, stars, and listen to the Beatles, not the philosopher Socrates. What does he know? Nothing. Now I'm going to let my fingers philosophize at the piano and find out what they know.